And I mean, if we had been playing every week, I mean that we would be probably 110 or so, or no,
Yeah,
probably a
about
little bit
110.
more. But yeah, somewhere around there. Still, we've been going at this for a while. We're at session 93, um, and you'll notice that I updated your characters, um,
On the
and
title screen, yeah.
yeah. So there we go.
No.
Updated to what?
Well,
Like
I
how
Mordecai
like
arguably.
how Mordecai is the normal one, but like you have a look at like Bright and Cipher on the title screen, and it's got a spectator token for me and a flame and the Bright Flame Skull token for Bright, which I really like the look of. By the way, Derek did a really good job on.
Yes, Derek did a great
Uh,
job.
Uh, uh,
Speaking of,
Flame
actually,
Skull Bright is just a fantastic drawing.
speaking of,
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, or earlier this morning for Americans,
Yes.
we actually finished the last of a 3-week hiatus.
Yeah.
Whereupon Coffee, Derek, one of the other nerds, Game Reaper, Oz, and I were playing some Shadowrun, and I got. Would have loved to have seen the dynamic going
I
forward.
would have loved to explore more of Drez and Ravage's relationship, as well as Ahriman and his
Yeah.
naivety.
Yeah, well,
Which
and
you
his
can all find on the
naivety.
YouTube channel of Gathering of Nerds, y'all. It exists.
Yes, you'll be able to find that come
Oh.
end of stream today because I need to upload it. But
Do you have a link? If I give you permission, you want to share it?
it's not up just yet. It'll be uploaded
Okay.
like later tonight.
Just search Gathering of Nerds on YouTube.
Yep, Gathering of
There you
Nerds on YouTube. Really blue logo, you can't miss it. But no, I do have something that I do need to check with you before we start, Maddie.
Okay.
First things first. As far as as far as I am concerned with being a spectator, I've got the stat block open.
Okay.
So if I'm reading what has been said correctly, I've got my warlock stuff.
Yes.
I've got the blessing of the blessing.
The blessing, yes.
With the liar's eye and the wisdom buff. And then I have the bite, eye raise, and spell reflection of the spectator as like a racial thing,
Yeah.
considering that's changed.
Yep.
Yep. Speaking of, just on that note about very quickly about DCs, how are those DCs calculated? Do you want me to calculate them using my
Yeah.
my proficiency bonus?
Yep. You are the
All right.
spectator.
And it looks like these ones are calculated off of 1 or plus 2, so Dex, Con, or Wiz. Actually, would it just be easier to say that the DCs work off my spell save? Like my spell save DC, without any, like, vanilla spell save DC, without any of the magic guided bonuses?
Huh? Yeah. Yeah, because it's you in this regard.
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
magic you're reflecting, it's just that this state, everything that you've gone through, that you've been through, has changed you. So I mean, I don't know, maybe you're not you anymore, but at its core, it's still the professor somewhere in that spectator. So it is your charisma. And by the way, while you were suffering from that mutation of scabs, that is
fallen
not
off.
a penalty for you anymore. So you're operating off your normal charisma, and then of course your blessing.
Yep, and the blessing turned my wisdom into something that's actually decent. So I now have I had a wisdom of 10. and so now I'm at Wisdom 14 because my Charisma went back up to 20 thanks to the mutation falling off.
Yeah.
But no, I just thought that I would check that, and yeah, we're just hand waving the hands requirement for weapons and whatnot, considering I am a melee warlock.
Well, I think what we'll do in terms of physical is you have the body you have. However, your mouth and your changed body is a manifestation, again, of you, and part of you is being a warlock. So your bite attacks could very well just be your weapon. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep, that makes sense.
So it might only be a D4 or something. I'd have to double check the spectator.
It's a D8.
It's a D8. Okay, then yeah,
D6.
just run it.
It's a D6.
Run your physical attacks with, you know, who and what you are. Just filter it through the spectator. So you're not really manifesting weapons, but I don't know, your teeth become whatever, like daggers or something, or, you know, or something along those lines that you would normally make your melee attacks as your brand of warlock.
Oh, I just had a really freaky idea. So, I said I should have asked these things before we went live, but it's fine because it means that the audience out there gets to hear how we work through things in the background. I have this.
Okay.
Now, is this gonna be a bit of an ask, but would it make sense that, considering we're filtering the packed weapon mechanics through the bite attack, that if I was able to change, quote unquote, my packed weapon into, like, say something like a crossbow or, you know, another ranged weapon of the like, would I be able to manifest that by, say, firing my teeth?
Yeah, so some sort of like a throat dart, or your tongue, because a spectator has a ridiculously long tongue. You just sort of like flick it out a great distance.
I'll probably leave the tongue idea, because I could also make reach weapons and stuff like glaives and whatnot. So I'm thinking I might use the tongue for that and have the teeth fire out as range stuff if I make the range stuff.
Yeah, you can find.
Change your packed weapon luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to fire your teeth, you.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. Teeth.
And then, of course, we have our dear Bright being piloted by Fluffy Sheep. Now, you all might notice that there's actually a Flame Skull, and there is still Bright as well on the map. And that was due to the circumstances regarding, regarding Bright's fun little Halloween adventure. And
There's
so,
a clone of you out there.
there's two Brights, and I wonder which one is the real one. Neither of them seem to have goatees, so you can't tell which one's evil. But yes, bear that in the meta. Bear that in mind. Of course, your characters don't know this, so you may very well encounter Bright just sort of, you know, doing her thing along the street, and you can interact with her as much as you want.
Technically, right now, both are evil.
Yeah.
Then which one's the eviler one? Guess that's just intention. And of course, we talked about how Bright operates as a Flame Skull. You get Flame Skull stuff, plus you're the wizard with Smarties. So, if you have any questions as we go through this, then it's fine to ask as well.
My memory is a little fuzzy because it has been a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So the first question is, what about my spells? What spells do I have? You
have the spells you memorized for that day.
Okay.
If you want to memorize other spells, then it may be possible, but you're going to have to get scrolls or recover your book.
Okay.
Let's see. But yeah, you can always the spells that you kind of died with are ingrained into your mind. So if you take a long rest, all your slots and spells and everything like it, you won't get to swap them, but you'll get to recast them. Although you don't really need to rest per se, it's just sort of like you setting down for a little bit and trying to rekindle yourself in some way. I don't know. We'll play through with this. But you're a flame skull. You get to hover around. You get to have pink fire. If you don't want pink fire, you can choose a different color. You have magic resistance. You have rejuvenation.
Oh God. Wait.
Yeah.
Creature abilities.
Wait, rejuvenation?
Yes. If the flame skull is destroyed, it regains all its hit points in an hour, unless holy water sprinkled on its remains, or dispel magic or remove curse is cast upon it.
So, Bright is semi-immortal right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's kind of the idea behind sentient undeath.
That just means I get to break her over and over and over and over again.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sad.
I love Bright.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. I love her.
Oh boy, that's...
So Casimir's out there stalking, and so I'm sure you might run into Casimir at some point in time. The rest of you, I have you on the kind of the overworld city map here, because you might move around. This is going to be the fallout of your trick-or-treating from Halloween. Tricks were played, treats were given, and I want to see what you decide to do with what you have. Now, we do not see Mordecai on this map, and the reason for that is because Mordecai's not in the city. In fact, if we consult a different map, we go here, we have discovered that there was this circus that was on the outside of town called Trine. And so more specifically, when we come in, we have Mordecai. Now, the circus, now that you've sort of snapped out of it, Mordecai, it's kind of the same, but it definitely looks not like the one you were just performing in, for as weird as all that was. And, of course, from what you remember after the snap occurred. It is still circusy. However, there's definitely been a fight. There are chunks of meat, probably people, kind of hanging around. A lot of, chains and handcuffs and, blood-slicked surfaces. And the worst of all, the trapeze does not have a net. I mean, that is clearly an OSHA violation. So this place is wicked and dangerous. There are screams coming from outside the tent. Some of them are in amusement, some of them are in dismay, and they could even be both because of the same reason. So you came to because you heard, you had been through some stuff, and then there was a big duder with all kinds of chains and piercings everywhere, who was just kind of like, yes, and we call that the aristocrats. And you kind of snapped out of it, and he's just sort of like, play into it. And you see a lot of these little red gribblers kind of going around. Some are selling popcorn, and some are doing little, they're dressed like little clowns kind of bouncing around. They're doing a lot of little things here. But then you have the big, super swole, chained up central figure. And so, with the scene being set, and of course, Mordecai, I don't know how you'd want to consider this in the meta. Everyone else turned into a monster, but you didn't. And I don't know how you should take that. And so what I will ask is, the party, such as it is split between several locations. But I would like to offer it. Would you all like to begin this next step, this exploration, with events in the city or with Mordecai?
Well, I mean, we do have that thought of Casimir embracing his beast and jumping off somewhere, God knows where.
Yeah, I'm happy to start with Mordecai.
I am happy to start with Mordecai.
Sure.
Macabre Circus! Have fun!
Yes,
Just like olden times!
it's a carnarium. Then what we'll do, given what we're going to explore here with Mordecai, you two can obviously pay attention, as you may very well meet up and share information. But this might be a weird interaction. And there might be ways that you input depending on the choices that Mordecai makes. So, Bright and the professor may very well be drawn in at some point in time. So while this is a little bit of storytelling through Mordecai, like some resolution, your paths may very well cross. And when they do, we're going to have some fun narrative interactions as this occurs. So Mordecai, here we are in the immediacy. It looks like you're standing in the middle of this just meaty ring. There are many people that are dead at your feet. At first glance, presumably by your hand. But no one is cheering or booing. In fact, everyone is super duper happy. They're cheering you on, and even the ringleader is happy.
He's definitely looking like he's not sure what happened, where he is. He doesn't remember coming here particularly, because this was kind of an instant transfer thing. Or how long he might have been conked out, or whatever, not knowing what was happening here. And so he's looking very much like he doesn't know what's happened.
All right. The large feller next to you, was kind of do that, like, he's just smile and wave, kid, kind of a thing through this skull mask with big horns. But it would seem that in this business there are some things that are universal, regardless of location, and that's that sentiment of the show must go on. So he is going to... all right, everyone. Now it's like he's really, really fumbling with this. Mordecai, just... In fact, what is your passive insight?
17.
You do feel feelings. You are the feelings boy. So this person, while having a mighty presence, is very much bumbling through the follow-through of addressing the crowd and trying to control the crowd as it's starting to whip up, not necessarily in a negative way, but at the same time, we've seen where, local sports team wins and then the town, sets dumpsters on fire because they're so happy. So the crowd here is really starting to get raucous. One of the popcorn serving gribblers, just kind of just flies across the tent and splats into a pole. And now everyone, please remain seated. There'll be more things, I promise. And the crowd is getting is getting whipped up here. And yeah, you're getting the feeling that he's losing control of this pretty quickly.
What is a musician to do but to play music?
Okay. Are you whipping out your violin?
I am, and I am going to play something catchy. What exactly that is, I don't know, but like something to entertain that's enough to kind of get the crowd interested and distract from the fact that this guy's bumbling so much.
Okay.
Even though I don't know what the heck's going on either.
Yeah. Well, hey, improvisation. Mordecai, you should be no stranger to, being on the spot in this regard. I'm going to do this. You are playing to a very mixed audience, though it does seem that there are these universal constants that are playing here. Music, everyone seems to appreciate some kind of music. You're going to have to take a guess as to what you're going to end up playing. I would like you to begin with an active insight roll to try and read the crowd and the expressions, because sure, they might have 5 eyes and a horn out of the middle of their head, but their demeanor might be more indicative of the kind of music they appreciate than just their exterior. Ooh, 21. And that's on a 7, or that's you have a 7. So yeah, you are reading the crowd and you're getting the idea that they want something more. They just saw, you're looking around, they saw something just, kind of a rip and tear situation. There's a lot of bodies around, and you're like, okay, let's play into this desire that they're really up on.
Yeah.
And I would like you, real quick as well, to make an investigation at disadvantage before you begin playing.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's a red number, so that's 4. Okay. Mordecai plays on. Now, you have very successfully read the audience, and, you have a repertoire of a lot of songs, whether they're, battle hymns or they're very bawdy limericks or other such things. So go ahead and you can make a performance at advantage as you are going to begin playing a song here. All eyes, there might be 100 people in here, but there's probably about 350 eyes on you. 30, all right. And you could even do better. You could be better than that, Mordecai.
Oh, I could.
That's really gross. Okay. So yeah, with a 30, you begin playing. Oh, I'm sorry, say it again.
That's what having a plus 15 is like.
Yeah, that's you begin playing, and the crowd gets into it, and while they're active, you find that you're able to get them to stop throwing popcorn. Like, they're sitting back down, or if they're standing up, it's because they're cheering. They aren't tossing the staff around. They aren't, laying into each other. Like, little kids aren't trying to, mimic what happened in the circus ring by stabbing each other anymore. That only happened for the first 10 minutes. And they're falling into an order, or at least a not chaos. That might be the more proper terminology. They're falling into a not chaos. You have them enthralled in a sense, and the big guy like doesn't lift up the mask entirely, but just this big hand with big old sausage fingers just sort of goes underneath it, and you just see like sweat just like almost gush out of the recesses of the mask. Keep it up, see if you can get him out of here.
And I play a tune that I kind of transition from something that's like nice and like popping to something a little bit more somber, something a little bit more relaxing, something that people might get a little bored with and walk away rather than kill each other away.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Diabolical Dabbler, for the +1 to the DM. This may come in handy. You all are floating a couple pluses as well, just as a heads up. Ones that are still that aren't expired. We have 2 to the Professor, 1 to Mordecai, and 2 to me. But there may be more that the audience will give you all as we continue. All right. So Mordecai, will you? Let's see. So you're gonna kind of Pied Piper them out of the tent, right? You want them to leave, or at least he wants them to leave.
Kind of project them away from this area. Not necessarily in an aggressive manner, but maybe start being a little less interesting and being a little bit more boring, so they'll move on to another attraction.
Roll a deception.
Not terrible at this. Oh!
Okay.
Ooh, that's dirty.
That's another red number. So the crowd, you know, you're like, you know, you're trying to get them to go. And oh, hey, Dark Wolf. Well, hey, if even you can just sit back and enjoy. I know you're not feeling the best, but I hope we can at least entertain you and you can stay up on things. Thank you very much for re-upping too. But they're here and they're starting to really get. They're starting to really just get not anxious, but they're demanding encore. We want more. Yeah, this is the best. Oh, Trine's never been like this. And they're starting to get aggressive again. How are you going to handle this?
I turn to my friend beside me. What would make them go away peacefully? I'm new.
What are you talking about, new? You're a pro at this. I don't know. Assert yourself.
Like how? I'm not exactly a big strapping bull piece like you.
They weren't listening to me. He's like trying to scoot people out, and he has the little gribbler staff helping as well. So he has his chains out, and he's kind of like using them as extra arms to usher people. But there's resistance, like, no, we want more from the blue boy, and it's getting very ruckus. There's a punch thrown. Big dude ends up no, you're out of here. Ends up controlling one of the chains that hooks up through the lower jaw and out the mouth, hurls this person in the stands down onto the ground, and then without their lower jaw, they're free to leave, and they scamper out, leaving a trail behind them.
Just try and perform better.
Well, you've already captured their attention. You weren't able to deceive them into thinking that they didn't want more of you. However, you're receiving advice to just assert yourself. You know, control them in this regard. Just because they're also not looking to big strong. I mean, yeah, they don't want to get impaled by the big strong guy or the little gribblers that are kind of shooting fireballs at people's feet or feet-like appendages to get them out of there. But there's still a lot of resistance. Everyone is looking at you and they want you. So this is Mordecai's. This is a moment for you to make some kind of a choice.
I don't really have much.
I will say performance and deception are going to be off the table, though, as these have been used.
I'm gonna start mocking people.
Ah.
I'll start using vicious mockery on people and just start, like, ribbing on people. Just see if maybe they're like, alright, this guy's enough.
Okay.
Just, like, repeatedly on random strangers. Be like, just start insulting people.
Sure. Is vicious mockery, what is that? Is that like a couple D4 for you now to use?
It's like 3d4
okay.
damage. I'm not intending it to be lethal. I'm just intending them to go away.
Sure.
Many fall in the face of chaos, but not this one. Not today.
I would like you to make... Well... If you just want to start insulting them, you can make intimidation. If you're willing to put a little bit of force behind your spells into it, I'll give you intimidation at advantage.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna use a little bit, like, just the tiniest flick of, like, vicious mockery power. Not really anything, like, harmful, but get to the point where some people, like, that I rib on will take a lot of people with them if they're like, alright, I've had enough of this guy. He's not funny anymore.
Make a, Sure, make an intimidation at advantage, as you are flinging words that hurt in more than one way. Look at that. There's a green number. What?
Natural 20.
Mordecai's getting some nice Christmas colors here tonight. So that is a nice 20 on there. All right. So you are here and you just turn into insult mode. And you are leveling. I don't have the mature tag on, so we'll just say that you're laying into him with your words. Yeah. Yeah. And of course your words are hurting too. Like, people are actually feeling a sting. However, as you're stepping up, can you even get out of here with that whatever? And everyone here is listening, and you have them all fall in line. I mean, there's people laughing, but also they don't want to mess with you, so they're kind of laughing it off and like, yeah, let's get out of here. We don't want to get this person more upset. You saw what he did in the arena anyway. Which is just a reminder that there are chunks of a bloody mess behind you. However, they do begin clearing out as you're sort of using your vicious mockery, almost like a whip, or even like a cattle prod, like, get at it, and you give them a little zap of magical energy as you insult them, and you call into question a great many things, from lineage to whatever the heck that appendage is supposed to be. And yeah, people fall in line as you are. I mean, you are just. Maybe you needed a purge like this, because, oh, Mordecai, this is feeling really good to just lay into people, and they're soaking it up. I mean, it's not like they're enjoying it per se, but I mean, you can just absolutely let go, and this feels so cathartic in some sense. I mean, it could have been just whatever the after effect of this battle was that you don't quite remember. It was pent up, or maybe there are actually some things, you kept a little bottled reserve of things that is, you're letting some of those spirits out right now. Still, over the course of time, everyone clears out, and the cleanup from the circus crew begins, and this very large chained up fellow comes back over to you and like gives you a big I mean, like, his hand is probably like, he could probably like pick you up by your torso, or not your torso per se, but like he can kind of grab your hips with one hand and hold you up, and
still don't know what exactly happened here.
It was a hell of a performance. You stepped up at a great time of need. So I sincerely appreciate it, but here, this is not the place to talk about this. Why don't you come out to the wagon with me? I'm gonna let the others clean up here.
Okay. Sure.
He barks out orders, and a lot of the little gribblers are, they're cleaning and doing things to just make it more presentable, presumably for next time. And you walk through the exit here, through this, it looks like the head of a devil has a big open mouth, and there's swirling darkness in it. However, you walk through the swirling darkness in this horned, bearded devil's mouth, and you emerge on the other side, out to the back of the tent. But again, maybe there's universals here, as there's a wagon that does seem to be the leader's wagon. It's a little bit more ornate, a little bigger, though there are signs of very recent damage to the door. And the cause for that becomes quite clear as our very large fellow kind of has to, like, scrunch up, get in sideways, and then is able to get into the large wagon. If you've ever seen that old sitcom Dinosaurs, we're talking like the construction boss in the trailer, the Triceratops. Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
There you go. Enjoy that imagery if any of you are familiar with what I'm talking about. So you have this huge, ripped, skull-faced, horned, chain devil or something that's just kind of behind this little desk, cramped up here. Stack of papers that he kind of that would almost be like the little pad of like sticky notes here, where he's just sort of is reviewing some things.
Mordecai, I can't express how happy I am. You decided to come out and help us.
I'm not sure how I got here.
You showed up.
Out of nowhere.
Although you had to have come in from someplace, probably the road. I didn't ask questions, I just knew that we needed help.
The last thing that I recall was being in the city, at a hotel. And then I saw a couple of people I knew there. And then all of a sudden I'm here.
Would that I could tell you. The Twisted Hallway only knows how you got here, my friend. But I'm very glad that you did.
Oh, where am I?
No, well, you're at the Trine Circus. We're on the outskirts of Oiho.
Yeah, I was in Oiho.
Mm-hmm.
How in the world did I end up on the outskirts?
You probably answered the call. You see, we were asking for help. We needed some because things have just really, really gotten trashed here. And frankly, you seem to fit all of our needs. You have prior experience, you have a very commanding presence personally, and you put on a hell of a show back there. Boy, you tore into those things like nothing else that I've seen. And frankly, it's all we can do to try and continue this vicious one-upsmanship. We've been bleeding, not even just literally, that's at least controllable and funny. We've been bleeding customers.
Why?
Well, more people have been going to the pit lately. That's where they're getting their entertainment. And we've been trying to put on something like that, but we keep running out of people who are willing, or even it's getting harder to get those unwilling to get pulped up. Our old circus master went... say that again?
Then why not join them? If you're hemorrhaging resources here, then why stay?
Well, frankly, that's what the old circus, the old ringmaster was looking at. Went into the city to go talk to, there's a certain name that you shouldn't say.
I'm familiar with it.
Well, let's just presume that you are. Don't say any names that I don't say. Wait a minute. He thinks on that for a moment, scratches his skull. Anyway, went to go talk to the leader of the pit regarding this, as it's caused a lot of trouble, unfortunately. Well, a lot of the gribblers have been making their way into town, and it's all I've done to try and keep them in check. And, you know, we were a place of enjoyment for people here. We were a place that gave satisfaction, and even a good living for as long as that living ended up being. But now, well, it's just a mess.
Sometimes it's a good thing to cut your losses.
I'm familiar with cutting a lot of things. Losses ain't one of them. I've tried to step up, but I ain't no ringleader. I'm just the second in command here, and that's a really far place from who our ringleader was, whatever happened to her.
Her?
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't have gotten to meet her. Oh, real nice lady. Wore some pretty fine stuff, looked very professional despite being from a circus. Kept her hair up in a bun. Oh, skin, the color orange that you couldn't believe. You'd swear you could see that orange even through dark vision. Oh, what a devil's sight.
One like me.
Not quite, at least not that I understand, not that I understand you are, presently with your dietary concerns and, your extra little bits and bobs. But close enough, yeah.
Okay. She went to the pit.
Yeah. That's been a while, though. She hasn't come back, and quite frankly, that has us concerned. That's when all the, that's when the gribblers started going out and trying to take matters and income into their own hands.
Huh. Well, I don't know how viable this place is, even if she were to come back then. Is it viable?
I think it can be. I saw what you did. Quite frankly, Mordecai.
I can't stay.
What else do you have to do?
I'm looking for a friend. In Oiho.
Do you need help?
I'm sure it would mean a favor for a favor.
Absolutely. You know how it works.
I don't have any favors to give.
Of course you do. Tell you what. I ain't the best at this, and that's why, frankly, I was never boss number 1. I've always just been a big number 2. At least that's what everyone keeps telling me.
Be careful what context that's used in.
What's a context? Oh, yeah, I get it. It's when you compete with someone. Alright, no, I mean, we've been talking about getting those kinds of games in for the carnival. But, No. I'll tell you what. Why don't we do something that can help us both out? I ain't good at making contracts, especially not as good as our ringleader was at the fine print. I write normally, and that's going to be fine print given the size of the paper compared to me, alright? Tell you what. You come back at night, you help fill seats, and you help Trine out. During the day, I'll do my best, and I can send out the gribblers, give them something constructive to do to help you out in the city. You help us, we help you. You get what you want, we get what we want. All we want to do is perform in front of people.
No strings.
Only chains. That's a joke. He kind of like tugs on his pierced nipples and...
Strange individual. I can only do what I just did. And that's play music.
Are you kidding me? I saw and heard what you did back there. You insulted people and left a brand on their asses. That's the kind of energy that we need here.
Insults is what people want.
No, not just... Yes, a little. But not just that. No, we need that kind of... That machismo. We need that energy. I have a big presence, but I can only do so much with my strength. We need someone who can actually lead. Someone who's done this before. Someone who can tell us what to do. How do we manage a circus like this? Place is falling apart. You saw the ribbons. I don't know the acrobatics.
I'm no leader. I was just a performer, just like you, when I was doing this.
Well, you could have fooled me. That's probably because you did. I don't know how you did it. Why don't you just keep doing that then? I ain't asking for much, just what you did. You brought people under control, you brought people in, you gave them entertainment. They listened to you.
But what happened before that?
What do you mean?
How were there bodies strewn all over the place? Was that me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you got some magical presence to you. Plus, you got this sword that just worked wonders. Man, you were tearing through those things.
I don't have a sword. The sword I have is mundane.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy.
What do you think was so damn impressive? A lot of people like using glowy magical BS. You just whipped out a blade and started piercing. Casting spells? I ain't never seen spells like that before. At least not from anyone like you. There was a certain energy to him. Gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Okay, then name some of them.
Oh yeah, there was the one that made everything kind of like lights. And it was a real weird tingly light too. Kind of made me feel uncomfortable, but not necessarily in a bad way. There was there was that way that you could just you mended yourself up after you were torn into. I knew something was up when you weren't profusely bleeding after getting rended like that. But I could tell you this, kid, you got guts. Then you stuffed them back in and kept going.
That doesn't sound all that great. I don't want to be doing that every night. And like I said, I can't stay.
If you don't want to sleep in the wagon because I'll give it up to you, I mean, you could go back to the city, but you know you got a place to be here. We can give you some money, we can give you resources, and of course, you know, I think you left an impression on the Gribblers, if not directly, then at least through me, and I'm their taskmaster. So, they'll listen to you too.
I gave up on this life a long time ago.
Seems like it didn't give you up. You've been masterful at this.
I've taken those skills and used them for other things. But,
Well, look, however you do it, I ain't picky. I just need you to come back here and keep filling seats. Make sure that the little guys don't keep destroying the city.
I can do it one more night. But that's it.
Oh, Mordecai. Not just one night. Come on.
What are we talking about here, Print?
Just long enough to try and get things back under control, or until the ringmaster comes back, or something. Just not one night. The city might tear us up, let alone our own Gribblers.
That's all I have. Because once I find my friend, I have to go back home.
Of course, and we'll even try and help you find your friend. Just a little help is all we're asking for, bud.
Like I said, one night. And then in return, only one day of your time.
Fine, one more night filling benches is one more night filling benches. Hopefully we could talk after that, but a day for a night.
I've
All
already
right.
given you one.
And he kind of like just writes a few things out. And it's a very, very simple contract, which is effectively just that. 1 day for 1 night at each other's request.
Sound of feasting home.
I've already given you one so far, so you kinda owe me 2.
That was already taken care of. You performed because we helped you out back there.
What did I need help for?
Some of the Gribblers found you in the city. You seemed really out of it. But you spoke to them. They brought you here because we could give you that sort of help. And you said that you'd help us. I'm surprised you don't remember that, but that part's been complete.
I suppose. I don't recall anything about that. As I said, I remember waking up at the hotel, meeting up with a friend of mine, and that's it.
I ain't you, bud. I don't know.
You didn't happen to see her, did you?
Which her are you talking about? Oh, 1 second, my audio glitched. Okay, I'm back. Can you say it one more time? You are still not coming through to me. That's weird. I can see... But breaking immersion, everyone. Sorry, Discord is not putting you through. 1 second. I'm going to try to disconnect and reconnect. Welcome to Tuesdays on Discord, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
hi, you're all back.
Yay.
Cool. Didn't touch anything. It just said, nah, I'm done.
Mm-hmm. The Discord be like that.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
He in response to his question, human woman, long black curly hair, maybe wore wizard robes.
Well, I can't say human. Boy.
Tiefling man, black hair, roguish.
Well, what you're talking about. There were certainly people who were somewhat matching that description. It seemed pretty obvious that they were in some kind of costume, maybe, or something along those lines. I can't say that I've seen a human around here in a good long while. You know, humans really aren't welcome around these parts. They don't have what it takes to enjoy the lifestyle. But there was someone that tried to look like one, yeah.
That's who I met up with. You're saying that person was disguised as my friend.
She wasn't matching how you were just describing her. So yeah, I don't know. Could have been magic, could have been... I don't know, did you try something funny here that you haven't had before? Were you on some Luciferase?
Oh, I've had Luciferase. I know what that's like. No. This isn't like that. This is like... my wife. She was my wife. And now she's not here, and it wasn't real. Oh. I initially thought that it couldn't be real, because she's dead.
Well,
There she was.
everyone has their different experiences with what death is or isn't. It's a bit of a mutable concept. I have heard that said so many times, that's why I could use that word, in case you're wondering. I just wonder if you weren't led here... I wonder if it wasn't because some of the mummers of the circus picked up on who you were. I don't know. I wish I could tell you more, but I'll tell you, Mordecai. You have been our saving grace here tonight. And however you got here, I'm sorry you're confused. But I ain't sorry that you pulled through. And you did us well tonight. And I look forward to at least one more night with you.
Other friend that I'm looking for is also human.
Yeah.
But she keeps her hair up in a really tight, short bun. Black. Tattoos on her face.
That could be a whole hell of a lot of people. But I'll tell you what, this information, like, he's kind of like scrawling it on a piece of paper. I'll give this to the Gribblers and we'll see what we can come up with. If there's a human in town, it should be pretty obvious. Ain't exactly a lot of them around here.
I was headed toward the pit when I was looking for her. So, I'll try there.
Well, I'd be careful if I were you.
I'm not sure what to expect.
That's part of the reason for the caution.
What can you tell me?
Pit's a place people go to and don't really come back from. Something started up not that long ago, too. Well, I mean, if you go there as a spectator, well, you might be able to come back. I mean, if you're taken there, especially by saying, ooh. Ooh. Don't say the name.
What does this person who should not be named look like?
I ain't never been. I couldn't tell you. From those that have attended, because we certainly have tried to figure out what the pit does, why those customers prefer there over here. I've heard a lot of different things. Beautiful, handsome, tall, short, strong, smart. Person seems to be all things to all people. It's baffling. I only appeal to a certain demographic.
Should broaden your demographic.
Ugh. I'll try, but I've been going so long on this that you can see what it's done. I'll tell you though, Mordecai, you're pretty close. You seem to be pretty appealing to a lot of different people, all makes and models.
It's a certain aesthetic charm. And sometimes the colorful and lavish, even the silly, grotesque and lavish, could spice things up.
Well, let's see.
Change your advertising style. Change your routine.
So here's the deal. I'm willing to do that, but I kind of need direction in that.
First of all, this one's for free. What about splaying people open makes people want to come back for more?
Huh.
Does it attract the same crowd as it used to? Is this new generation of demons actually interested in splayed guts?
Well, it was tried and true for a great long while.
Maybe it's old. Hire some new blood. Get their opinion. What would entertain them?
Oh, that's what I thought I did, Mordecai.
They would have more insight in this place than I would.
I think it's that outsider's look. Now, there's going to be a back and forth in this trailer as you're offering advice, and we have number 2 here, who is taking notes but still deferring because you have been this exotic attraction. You are this outsider with these new ideas, bringing in this refreshing sense of entertainment. And especially by recommending flaying open people, it seems like you're open to other forms of entertainment, or at least ones that maybe the traditional circus you were at didn't perform.
Yeah, because if that's what attracts the crowd here, or did at one point, it's... When you're performing old tricks on a new audience, a new generation of an audience, they're not going to be nearly as interested.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the only way to know is to try.
It's the young people.
And that's what we're always doing here at Trine, is to always be trying.
Ask the young people what they want to see. Then do it.
Well, I got a list. It's a start, and it's better than nothing.
I usually don't offer counseling services for free.
Now, Mordecai, as you've been sitting in here with this character, a decent amount of time has gone through. You've had this conversation, a back and forth, and whether or not you are choosing to engage, there is this circus instinct in you where you're like, wow, these people, I thought maybe our small circus was having problems, or like it wasn't as efficient, because you're always trying to tinker, you're doing all these other things to try and be better. And
it eventually broke up and collapsed.
Yeah, that's what this place is on the precipice of doing. And your level of management and understanding is far and above what their current leader does possess. So you get this, like, you get this natural position of dominance. Because as you're talking, some gribblers are going to come in and out. They're going to be dropping off some little papers. And they always look at you, and you had a 17 passive insight. They recoil a bit, but not necessarily in fear, but they kind of give like a little meh, and then they they begin cackling outside again later, but they seem to suppress themselves in your presence. And even giving you a slight cringe of respect, as they do. And there's just something about being here, Mordecai, where you may not want it, but you are the top. You're the top person here. Like you're the head honcho, even if only temporarily and by default.
Now, that being said, because the circus did say that they would make themselves available to you in return, you are wielding influence here. And while the circus doesn't have as much resources as it used to, there's still a lot of things that might be at your disposal. What would you like to ask the circus to do for you?
Well, we came here looking for Jaden, but I still haven't seen Bright, the Professor, or Casimir yet. And so, finding out where they are is also important because we got split out.
Sure.
And I'm concerned the more I sit here.
Sure. Okay. You have made a list of desires that you would like the circus to do on your behalf. And as per their contract, they will go out and see what they can find. Well, not quite the day, because there's not really a day or night that exists. There's, an occasional flare-up of lightning. There are some fireballs that rain down from the sky. However, there is a crack shot of gribblers that sort of counter the fireball with their own innate little fire pew-pews. So most of the fireballs don't impact anything that's terribly important anyway, as they scamper around, hooting and hollering, and are otherwise delighted to do their job because it just lets them open up on the sky.
Whatever qualifies for a night here.
Yeah. So time does pass, and you hear back from number 2 that a squad of gribblers has come back, and they might have some clues for you, but you're gonna have to get ready because the next show is gonna be going on soon. Now, during this time, you mechanically have a full rest.
Okay.
Now, did 8 hours pass? But you feel energized, right? You feel assertive. You feel, in control. You feel 100%.
What information do they give me? Do they give me any information on Jaden or the rest of the others of my party?
It seems so far they have located the one that you described as Bright, as a small pink-haired girl that has been seen going through the streets, and she is stopping into a lot of stores and buying a lot of just different things.
Weird.
But she doesn't seem to be in trouble. She actually seems to be, skipping and whistling. She seems to be, very happy.
Yeah, she's been very weird since being here. But, okay. I'll want to catch up with her at some point. Her and the Professor and Casimir.
The people described as the Professor and Casimir haven't been sighted, but they're working on it. Unfortunately, they're still getting some resistance from the city. People don't want to work with them because they're tired of being pickpocketed by the gribblers. So they've had to do a lot of sneaking and skulking.
Yeah, a little less of that sticky finger thing will actually win you points with the populace.
Look, we're trying. If you can keep them busy doing something else by bringing in entertainment or even making good with the city, I'm sure you'd get a lot more cooperation.
Again, this is one more performance. After that, I have to move on.
All right. So it's showtime, and there is a crowd. There's a lot of there's a lot of new faces. Part of that is because some people just have continually melting faces, and some people had to get reconstructive surgery since last time. So it's, you know, it's a good mix. You come out, and for people that are presumably aware of who you were because they're here or they heard firsthand, they go nuts. They're in a good way. Well, in a non-destructive way. Good is kind of weird to use here. And they seem quite eager for you to put on a show. And so, Mordecai, what I would like you to do is describe to me the type of show that you have planned here for this night.
Mostly music and acrobatics.
Okay. Are you using a net?
No.
Ooh. Risque. Okay. Sure. Go ahead and,
Roger King is going on the wire without one, and is going to play his violin up there.
Oh, and by the way, would you like a costume of any kind? They have a lot of different costumes and makeups available to you at the circus.
I'm exotic looking enough. I don't need a costume.
I could probably give you some really disgusting looking patterns that are super gaudy and like half paisley, half striped, or like colors that you're like, they exist on the edge of reality as you're having trouble trying to like even determine what that color is.
He likes his current look.
Okay.
He doesn't really want to meld into the rest of this. He wants to look different, like he's not gonna last. Like he's a limited time performance. This is otherworldly. This isn't going to stay.
Mordecai McRib Silverleaf. Got it. Sure. All right. So yeah, you're giving off this energy. You got this aesthetic. Mordecai, go ahead and make an acrobatics first. This one's gonna be just straight up.
Oh, come on.
Oh, that's a.
That's a
I'll tell you what,
natural
though, for rolling a 1, 13's still not bad by default.
Plus 12, yeah.
So you kind of get up there awkwardly, and you're just not used to all the chains and handcuffs that are used in this fashion, and might still be a little slick with blood. You better get the gribblers on this but you do fall. It's not a lethal fall, especially for you as you are. People aren't sure how to take what just happened, and so you're going to pop up and give a performance after this. This is going to be a performance. This is just going to be a straight-up performance. As otherwise you would have had disadvantage. We had a bit of a fall. People are confused as they're trying to gauge what happens, but let's see if you can pull this off, Mordecai.
What?
Wow,
What?
Another red number. Still, a 16 on a 1's not terrible, but
That's 4 natural ones!
you are a very lucky person.
No! Bullshit!
You're very welcome to use your screen snipping to memorialize this moment.
What?
So you, again, 16 is not terrible. I mean, compared to like whatever level 2 person, you're just like, you succeeded by failing. So this doesn't go according to your plan. And the audience is kind of mixed here. They're not rioting. They're also not clapping, but you're challenging them to think about what is going on. As it's not a ruckus circus now, but they're all contemplating. And you see them wondering what, is this a metaphor for life? Is it performative dance? You have a bunch of demons wondering what they just saw. And at some point, someone just sort of kind of blurts out, he fell. And at that moment, the audience just sort of realizes, yeah, he did fall. That's hilarious. And so there's a congeniality to it. But it's been kind of this performance been a little bit of a wash. And Big Guy comes out to try and, I guess, give you some backup here. He's like, "Look, I guess you need more practice on the gear. Just tell you what, I know you got some moves in you somewhere. Grab one of my chains. I'll impale you with it if you want, but just grab on if you don't want me to impale you."
Okay. I grab onto it.
Woo! You get whipped. You kind of get whipped up and around. Make an acrobatics, this time at advantage.
Okay. Oh, 26. That's so much better.
That is better. So he whips you up into the top of the tent, and there, especially because there's a lot of chains and these red ribbons and everything hanging down, you can, you can kind of down one of the ribbons and then roll out and grab onto some of the cuffs and rigging and the things that are up here. Do something. Ladies and gentlemen, that was just the warm-up. Mordecai is here to astound and baffle. Right? The audience is really quiet as you're up in the generic rigging of the tent. What are you going to do?
I start popping off some sacred flames in like different areas of the tent, just to maybe close to the audience a little bit to give them a start, but not at them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that comes innately to Mordecai, but he's not entirely sure why he grabbed a symbol of Ouija's on his neck.
Yeah. Sure. So you're up in the rafters, letting loose with this energy. One of the bolts goes past the big guy. Cause like, whoa, that's the weird feeling light again. And the audience is leaning forward, but also having a metaphorical, like they're clutching their pearls, because they're all really anxious at what you're doing, because they're getting that weird tingle from your energy blast as well. But they're really captivated by what you're doing up there.
I kind of perpetuate a few around me with thaumaturgy.
Okay,
Combo of
sure.
Thaumaturgy and Sacred Flame.
Sure.
Kind of, like, almost like I'm juggling radiant light.
Oh, cool. All right. Make a spell attack, a generic spell attack. Doesn't matter what the spell is.
We'll make a spell attack with
Not
guiding bolt,
red.
because that's the one that has a spell attack modifier.
Sure.
Oh, that was not supposed to be an advantage. That was supposed to be normal.
That's fine.
That's an 18.
18. Yeah, you do this weird amalgamation. You're juggling this holy energy, and people are really enthralled by this. This, like, they're not even ribbing or kind of like trying to figure you out. They're not even asking questions. Like, you're holding them, you're holding their attention. It is quiet except for anything that you're saying or doing up in that rigging. You've just subdued an arena of 100 fiends. I mean, probably more than that, but, you know.
And that's when he pulls out his violin while in the middle of the tightrope and just starts to play.
Give a performance at advantage. 28.
It's not bad.
No. You hold the audience in rapture. They are... No one approaches you, no one says anything. No one does anything until... Really, it's up to you. Your performance is going very well. You are... I mean, you are the boss. You are quite very much literally on top of the big top. As you have this musical performance juggling this sacred fire. And everyone is wrapped around your tail.
With the intent of making everyone feel like this is temporary. Lose people again?
I hear you.
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you too.
Okay.
Likewise.
Everything went quiet and still for a second, so I thought I lost it. I don't know if you made a response to me. That's all.
The last thing I heard you say was with the intent of making everyone feel this is temporary.
And that's all. That's it.
Oh, I thought you were building up to something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No. Not particularly.
So the night, such as it is, goes on. And at some point in time, you've asserted your dominance over everyone else. They've gotten a very good show, in your opinion, and even the big guy down below, like, is just looking up at you in, like, his chains are just sort of like slack, as is his jaw, as he watches this happen, and eventually he calls, everyone, it's time to go for now. But if you want to see more while it might last, hopefully you can come back again. And only your attendance and cooperation can help Mordecai decide if this is what he would like to do further. And there's kind of a disappointed cry from the audience. But they begin to shuffle out in an orderly fashion. Some of them kind of slurp along like a slug. Others walk on 2 legs or more. And they leave.
And I am going to leave myself. I give him my day of advice. And now I've given him his night of entertainment. And it's my time to leave.
Mordecai, you know where we are. I think we could really continue to use your help, even if it is only temporary, or on a day-by-day basis. I'd be willing to bargain with you. You did a good job there.
I have to leave. Because I know that you're going to keep asking me.
Can you blame me?
My friend, you need to step out on your own 2 feet in order to make this a success. No amount of what I do, regardless of how long I stay here, is going to help that. Your acts need to be better. Your acts need to be like that. I have shown you what your acts need to be like. What will enrapture the people's minds. Use it.
Oh. Well, I suppose we can only try. I can't do what you can do, nor can anyone else here.
It doesn't have to be glowing lights. It could be juggling something equally as dangerous. It doesn't have to be a violin. It could be some local instrument. I have no knowledge of your culture. but I must go.
All right. Well, you gave us this night. I'll send the Gribblers out to see what else they can find. You might even find a little bit more cooperation in the city because of your act.
Thank you. But it's time that I leave, and he turns to he turns to walk out of the tent and out of the circus, and we go back to Oiho.
Okay. As you leave, there's a bit of a sigh behind you as the guy behind the desk. It's kind of a sigh of resignation or failure. And as you leave, there's a bunch of the little Gribbler crew that are lined up there, and a couple of them are still laughing because they just can't seem to not at times. But a lot of them are just they're looking at you. You're going to leave us? You're leaving? Leaving us?
I have to get back home.
Hopefully you'll come back.
Not likely.
Oh. All right.
Just
You,
like the circus, I come and go.
Okay. You wander and you leave behind Trine and proceed to you proceed back to the city here. Now, as we can put you eventually on the map, I do need to cut over to the others, as they have been doing some things in the time that you have been doing things too. So I have you out here in the outskirts. I would like to ask Bright, and this is Flameskull Bright that I'm talking to. You have a new you. I mean, you're very, light-footed, fancy-free. You're never cold. That's nice. And while you got some looks here before, anyone who sees you really just seems to, fall in love with you. They think you are... I mean, some people just think that you're the most adorable thing that they've ever seen. You get a couple cat calls look at the polish on that skull. Just like some real, but yeah, you are having no problem fitting into society here. I mean, it's a little obvious when you're out and about because you are, on fire all the time. But no one seems to care, and everyone just seems to take a liking to you. What would you like to do in this state?
Not sure. So I have a problem, which is that someone's got my body, and I'd prefer to have it back.
Okay.
So I'm gonna need to find them and make them give it back. So, yeah, I'm kind of looking for that. And what I've heard is that whoever's pretending to be me is really laying low, so it hopefully shouldn't be too hard to find them.
All right. Well, I suppose we can try and find out. So that's your first goal, is to try and find your body?
Yeah, I would kind of like to have my body back.
Okay.
And my spell book. Not really sure which of them is the priority. Ideally both.
Well, let's you know what your body's capable of doing now, whether or not whatever spells or influence it's under, does something else. But you have played investigator once or twice before, and so this could be a chance for you to be inquisitive Bright. If you wish to, follow the trail or try and pin down the location of this body.
yeah, I think that would be pretty useful, actually.
Sure. All right. So time passes. This is, like, there's no day or night per se. There's no, there's no moon or sun to really guide your path, but you don't also really need to sleep at all. And you can move just by thinking about where it is you want to go, because you can just float around and, do your thing. Now, for purposes of expending any sort of magical energy, of course, there would just be a period of downtime, but there's no... Like, time exists, but it doesn't exist perhaps in the way that you're used to on a regular cycle. Before I call for any particular skill to challenge as you begin trying to find yourself, are there any sort of spells that you'd like to activate, or things along those lines that you would like to use to enhance your senses, or to boost yourself, or lay a trap for your body, or anything along those lines? Or threaten people, shake them down for info?
Well, it's kind of funny. The spells that I have are the spells that I was going to use when we were going to go to the pit. So, no.
Oh. Well, you might be able to get information otherwise. All right, then let's just do this. Let's start out with a good old-fashioned investigation.
Okay.
Hey, Talia.
All right, so starting out here, 16, not terrible. Yeah, you float around. It takes some time as people are getting to know you. Like they swear they've seen this pink flame skull before. As you're going up and down the streets, maybe ducking into an alleyway, you remember that one time in the warehouse where you hid in a crate. So I don't know, maybe you tried to hide in a crate just to see if you'd walk by at some point in time. But yeah, some time passes and you don't end up seeing yourself, but you are becoming known in the neighborhood. So, people will pass by you. Do you wish to reveal a name of any kind, or do you just want to let people call you whatever you want them to call you?
No, I think I'll let them decide. I mean, there's probably only one me like me. So, and I love names. I still love names. So, whatever names anyone wants to give me, I'm certainly collecting them.
Okay.
Plus, in a world where you don't want somebody to say your name, having a lot of names is probably an advantage.
Okay, sure. They can come up with, I'm sure we can come up with some sort of a clever name. Let's see. Well, you do always emit this fire, so I think some people have taken to calling you Bright.
How delightful.
Bright or Bright Skull. And so yeah, you're on the stakeout. Nothing has shown up yet except you have gotten a name, and a lot of local merchants are, they're not treating you like a stray cat in an alleyway, like leaving out like a dish of, I guess, like coals or something for you to eat. But they interact. They interact with you. They, how's your day, Bright? Oh, your flames are looking mighty pretty. I like the way that the smoke just seems to shimmer when you pass by.
Yeah, it turns out that it's not. Well, I don't know. It would be. Thank you. It's hard to know what to. I don't know. I don't know.
A very large person looks kind of like a taper and a wasp kind of fused together. kind of buzzes up really close.
You speak funny. That's pretty nice. Not a lot of nice people like you around have funny words to say. Just wanted you to know that you made my day bright. Get it? It means two things at the same time.
Sure. Sure. Glad to hear that. What? How? What? How? What? How? What? How? Those are my questions. What? How?
What? How?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. And, this thing has been challenged in such a way that it has become confused and quite baffled. It seems to be in some sort of agony.
Huh. How strange. So, I don't understand anything about this creature at all. I think, I mean, where did it come from? Why is it here? Okay, I'm glad I can fly. I think I'm gonna fly away. I'll just go up. I know it can fly as well, but
yeah.
maybe if I go through a window or something.
I don't know. No, you have to tell me the answer.
It begins to fly after you, and as he's screaming, you have to tell me, as it now seems to be very frustrated. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, Bright Skull. Fine,
25.
go ahead and pass. That's not dramatic. So it screeches and it's taking off behind you. You were already floating and it was walking on the ground, so you had a bit of a head start, but it does look like this is going to catch up to you real soon, and it's elongating its very sharp talons as if to grasp you. What would you like to do?
Huh. Okay. I don't understand why it's doing that.
Yeah.
I guess I'll cast a mage armor.
Sure.
Why not?
Shields up.
I mean, I wasn't feeling particularly fighty today, but if it's going to grasp at me with talons, then I should probably be ready.
All right. So it does catch up with you, and it is going to make a couple attacks.
Tell me!
It shouts out very desperately. Well, that would have been an 18. So I presume your shields deflect that as it snaps at you with its 12. Its sharp, beaky nose.
12 is no good at all.
Then the talons are coming.
Okay, 23 will hit.
Okay. Will a 16 hit as well?
It will this time.
Okay.
16 is in the zone where I could use a shield, but I'm not going to.
Okay. So it scrapes at you, and there's a gouge in your bone matter, and it deals 10 points of slashing damage to you as you're flying away, and it's.
I have my regular hit points, not flame skull hit points, right?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'd really appreciate if you would not do that. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna have to hurt you. And I don't really want to. Not that I would mind. I'm just really... I really have other things on my mind today.
Would you like to hurt it back or continue to try and escape?
I wasn't really trying to escape as much as I was just kind of going away from it.
Okay.
You understand the difference.
It must be like a gnomish inflection, but sure.
Okay. So, yeah, that's that.
Okay.
So, I think what I'll probably do is I'm gonna go ahead and use hypnotic gaze on it.
Sure, go ahead.
So that's a wisdom save for you.
Oh. So this is actually going to be... All right, does a does an 11 pass your DC?
It does not.
Ah, boo. All right, well, I had advantage. And it is not immune to any sort of charming. What are you doing with this spell?
So, well, hypnotic gaze isn't a spell; it's just the whammy. But
oh, that's off of your that's off of your subclass, your school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My temporary school.
Well, right.
So, yeah. So, so he's charmed by me. So that's at least for a little while. So, actually, it's incapacitated. So since we're flying,
oh, okay.
It would fall unless it has hover.
It
does
does not.
To fly.
Yeah.
Okay, so bye.
Crashes into some crates in an alleyway.
I hope it takes falling damage.
Presumably it does. They're not magical crates, so it's probably not as much as you'd expect otherwise.
Okay, so that only works once on him, but hey, it's worth a shot. So I'm gonna look around. Is there a hiding place or some kind of building I could duck into?
Oh, yeah, you're the size of a gnome skull. You can get into a... I did say gnome skull, not numbskull, right? I think I said gnome skull. Yeah, I mean, you're a floating gnome skull. You can hide in a lot of different places.
Well, I want to hide in a place that's at least kind of interesting. So maybe if I could duck into somebody's window, something like that.
Yeah, there's you can get into like a little planter box, or I don't know. Someone left a pie out, but someone ate the pie, so there's just a pie tin on a windowsill.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. In fact, as you do, you even see that it looks like one of those damn little red gribblers took off with the pie, but left the pie tin behind.
Well, I don't really need the pie, so...
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're sitting there, continuing to keep a lookout.
No, I'm looking, trying to get into the building.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, so a fiend comes and opens the window. Well, just what do we have here now? That's no pie of mine. But aren't you a sweet little thing?
Yeah, I'm not a pie. I saw the little gribbler run off with a pie.
Oh, damn! Oh, those damn gribblers! I wish someone would do something about them.
Yeah, we were working on that, but it didn't come to pass.
Oh, sorry. What's this place come to? Don't you know?
Yeah, it's kind of a downer. So anyway, I saw this wasp down below. I don't know why it was bothering me, but it was bothering me. So I came up here.
Well, you aren't hurting anything.
That's true.
Do you need anything?
Not really. Just wanted to say hello.
Oh, I mean, I have some lovely innards I can feed you. Do you eat?
No, I really don't. I used to. I don't really do it anymore.
Make
In fact, I used to have a whole body, but I don't really have it anymore.
make a persuasion while you are up here talking to this
Sure.
upper Midwestern fiend.
Why not? Oh.
Okay. Oh, well, sorry to hear about your luck. Tis what it is. You can perch up here for a little bit, but you should be off soon.
Okay. Well, it was nice chatting. I'll fly up over the building and look for another window.
Yeah. Oh, there's plenty. I mean, you could peek in every window you want, because you actually have a hover speed.
Yeah, I do. No, I'm just I mean, I'd really kind of like to find my body.
Okay.
That would be nice.
More time passes, and go ahead and make a perception at advantage, because there's no one chasing you. You can take your time. You don't seem to mind just peering into people's windows. Well, that
19.
could have been a red number, but it's a 19 instead, so that's good. Sure. So you see all kinds of things in the windows. In fact, you even go past that one window that you went. Those two are still at it, whatever it is that they were doing. But yeah, you just kind of make your way around, peeking in windows, and in the neighborhoods here, you seem to be getting a reputation, and people aren't really like. They're not really upset. You get shooed away from some windows, or some curtains, or something else closes to block your sight. But it seems like you've been past this one window before, and they say it's good to see you again, and maybe at some point you actually had been past here. But you're getting some more interactions, and you even get a very stern. A fiend that's very tall, has two little stubby, almost comically small wings, and then a face kind of like a warthog, except with like 8 tusks kind of coming out. Hey, you. Yeah, the pink one, Bright Skull, I think is your name.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, come over here.
Okay.
You just gonna float down?
Yeah, I'll float down.
My wife told me the other day that you landed in a pie dish.
I wouldn't say in. I would say next to.
I ain't here to argue about that. I just wanted to let you know that you cheered up her day. You seem to make the world a better place.
I'm not sure if that's good, given the location that we're in. Wouldn't I be trying to make it a worse place?
Why would we want it to be worse than it is?
Wasn't that the whole point?
I don't think so.
Oh.
We're all here. We're all just down here living our best lives.
Well, then in that case, I'm very happy that I made it better for you.
No, of course.
I'm not actually happy. I don't say that out loud.
No. Now, from what I was told, you don't eat or nothing. But I'll tell you, you could probably do us a world of good if you, there's these little red bastards going around stealing pies, going around and, getting into places what they ain't not supposed to be getting into. I don't suppose. You seem to have some time on your, forehead. So, I was thinking maybe you could help us out and kinda, I don't know, can you, like, drive them off or put them down or something?
Well, maybe. So, here's the thing. Somebody's stolen my body. See, I used to have other parts besides just the skull. So, and I'd like those other parts back. So, maybe if you could keep an eye out for the rest of me, and I could keep an eye out for the little gribblers. And then if I see Gribbler, I can load up for you.
Yeah, sure thing, sweet sockets.
Yeah.
You do us a steady, we'll do you one. Because you ain't a nobody. Well, I mean, you know what I mean,
I kind of
right?
am. Yeah. So, I'll let me describe myself to you. here's a funny thing. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna look like to you. That's kind of funny. So I might look like me, except with the whole body, but I might also look kind of different. But one way or another, there's gonna be a lot of pink. So you'll always be able to recognize that.
A lot of pink.
Yeah.
Ain't much pink around here. It's not a popular color. Hasn't been for quite some time.
Was there a time when pink was more popular?
Yeah, I think that there was, now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, what happened? I mean, everybody likes pink.
Well, a bit of a change into the guard, I suppose. The leader of the neighborhood, she was doing us really well for a while. Things started to go, they started to go pretty poorly. Especially since that pit moved in. That was a while ago now that I think on it, too. I don't often think. It's often one at a time. And she went to go talk to the leader of the pit. And he never come back. Neighborhood's been going downhill since.
What was her name?
Oh, what was that, Hey, Annie, what was the name, huh? Yeah? I can't hear you. I don't even think she's in the window. I can find out for you if you want.
Yeah, that would be useful information.
Sure. Well, if you need something like, I don't know, I don't think you eat. You probably don't,
Sure
What don't go in, don't come out too, right? Or do you need like a box or something?
Well, actually, I could use a box. If you had a box that had 1 square foot of space, or 1 cubic foot of space in it, that might be just the right size for me to have a nice place to stay when I get tired. Because I do still sometimes get tired.
Oh, sure, but do you need some sand or stuff, or do you not do that anymore?
No, that's cats.
Oh.
That's different.
Alright, so you just need a box.
Yeah, just the box.
Alright, Toots, I got a box for you.
And if it had some kind of little decoration in it, like a little, I don't know, something cute, that would be real nice. Like if you had a little, yeah, I don't know, if you had a little tiny figurine or something that went in the box, that would be cute. That would be nice.
Sure.
If not, that's fine. Just a little box is good enough.
I'm sure I could dig something up, huh? If you're willing to put down those little red bastards, I'll find something cute for you.
Well, I would sure appreciate that. Yeah, and a nice box to stay in so that I can have a nice, safe place when I need to rest.
That's great. Me and the rest of everyone else in the neighborhood are really, would be really happy to have your services.
Okay, so I'll look for some gribblers, and actually I feel pretty good about it, because, see, check me out, fly around, and I don't think they can really do anything about that, so I'll probably be in pretty good shape.
Okay. Alright, some more time passes, and the neighborhood, in the immediate neighborhood, the couple buildings here, people are getting to know you. You do have a box, and while it doesn't have a little something inside, it looks like painted on the side in a language you're starting to get to know more and more. It just says Lil Hottie on the side of it, and yeah, it's in fact we can even say that painted on the side. This guy's wife painted it for you. He painted a body for the rest of your skull. So, you've seen the art of you with the rest of your body. So, we'll just say that that's what's on the side of the box now.
Okay. That's satisfactory.
And it just says Lil Hottie next to it.
I'm pretty happy with that.
And there's a stone. It's like a little stone. It's smooth and shiny.
Yeah, that'll do nicely.
Okay.
If I ever get my spellbook back, I'll identify that.
Okay. So yeah, time is passing here. Could you please make a let's do 1 perception.
Oh, I thought there was going to be another.
Well,
one
yeah,
coming.
but they're going to lead into each other.
Okay.
Okay, 17. All right, so you're keeping an eye out. Go ahead and make a... now I would like you to make... Well, you spot some gribblers at some point in your residency here. Now, how would you like to interact with them? Physically, magically? Would you want to try and scare them off? Do you want to try and persuade them? Do you want to trick them into doing something else? What would you like to do here?
Yeah. So none of the above, actually. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna take advantage of my small size and my flying ability.
Okay.
To, from overhead and ducking behind windows and corners of buildings and rooftops.
And around. Yeah.
Yeah, and windowsills and all those things. Look for, just try to follow them and see what their business is.
Okay.
And I'm going to pay special attention if one of them gets separated from the others.
Yeah. You hear something that they're actually sticking together. And one wants to go off and cause some mischief, but the other says, no, we got to do it for Blue. And they seem to be on the lookout for something on behalf of someone named Blue. And they're going around. They're talking to some other gribblers they meet in rather shady locations. Go ahead and make a stealth, by the way. You can do this straight up because you are emanating light and flame, but you're also really small, so it'll
16.
wash out. 16. All right. I do not get a modifier to this because they are just gribblers. Okay, so if they notice you, they don't choose to interact with you, but they meet up with some others. A couple of them seem to be doing something shady because they have some pretty full coin purses, plural, and they don't seem to match. But one of them says something like, yeah, I saw that, they're laughing like, ha ha ha, yeah, that really pink one. Oh boy, what was she up to? Oh, I'll tell you what. And proceeds to tell the others what, and it sounds like they're talking about your body.
Yeah, see, now that's exactly the sort of thing I was interested in.
So
I'm actually really interested in that. So
okay,
you could tell me.
Yeah, it seems like your body has been pretty much on the other side of town, and has been going into a lot of stores, especially specialty stores, and has been purchasing a lot of. They don't know what it is, but it seems like it's always expensive stuff. Because they've gone in afterwards, and it seems like the shopkeeper kind of just snaps out of it and then realizes that they're out a lot of money.
Well, see, now that's the sort of thing that's going to make me not popular in town once I get my body back. So... Sorry, there were strange dog booths. How many gribblers are there here?
4.
Okay. Did I get any sense of, where? Oh, you said on the other side of town. Okay. But you said they also have a whole bunch of stuff here? Like, a whole bunch of money?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's kind of nice. Okay. Well, now this is kind of disappointing. I can't even use my... Well, now wait a minute. So I have a spell that requires a component that I don't have because it was with my body.
What's the component?
I need my dagger.
I mean, you're a skull. I mean, if it just needs a weapon of some kind, is this for like bloodletting or?
No, it's for slaughtering all the gribblers with.
Oh, I mean, you can. Yeah, you're kind of in a back alleyway here. You can. I'm sure you could find. I'll tell you what. Make another perception as you look around for something to scoop up in your teeth.
Okay. 12.
12? Alright. So, it's not a dagger, but you do find a sharp piece of stone.
Okay. Well then, if you'll allow it, because technically it's supposed to be worth a silver piece.
At least a silver piece. Yeah, no, I see where this is going.
If it's alright, so it's supposed to have a little bit more value. You might, while they're still assembled, you might need to procure something with a little bit more value. In where you're at, you might be able to, well, if you think you're slick enough, you could try getting one off of them themselves, because they do carry, they do seem to carry little arms on them too. Or you could go out to, the street and ask someone, or take one, or something along those lines, and procure an item that you think you can use.
Oh, I could do all kinds of things. Okay, well then, this is so disappointing. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Greater Invisibility.
Oh, sure.
And, first thing I'm gonna do is play a prank on the Cripplers.
Okay.
So, now that I'm invisible, and I'm flying, so I can't even make footsteps. I should be almost completely undetectable.
All right.
Except that I'm radiating a whole bunch of heat.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly around the Gribblers and just try to bother them by being really, really warm. Not like touching them.
Oh,
just
yeah.
Be like, wow, does it feel really uncomfortably hot even by my own standards?
Sure.
And
So
I'll
it's
just-
kind of like being visited by a ghost, but it's not cold. It's just hot instead.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. And then maybe if one of them exposes like a dagger, I'll pilfer it. And I also have my mage hand. I can still use mage hand.
Oh yeah, you can, huh? Sure. Roll an intimidation at advantage, as you're trying to you're trying to freak him out and kind of get him
I like
upset.
that. 15.
15. Okay. And I am going to make something here.
That's actually not too bad, considering that intimidation is not my thing.
Yeah. Sure. So, like, a couple of them start fanning themselves, like, what's going on? It's really hot. Oh, I bet it was you. You're the one who farted. No, that's not me. It wouldn't be that warm anyway, not for that long. And they start kind of arguing amongst themselves, but they're just really kind of, oh, we should get going. No, it's something. I bet something's in here with us. You know, there's been people who wanted to follow us. You know, we're not too popular now anymore, are we? No. And it does draw out a little dagger, and it's sort of like trying to follow around the heat as you're going around. I bet there's something to poke. Yeah. Huh.
Okay. So, what I'm gonna do... Let me see here. Let me double check my player's handbook. Yeah. Okay, now this is fun. So, whoever's waving the dagger around, I'm gonna go up to them
Mm-hmm.
and put the whammy on them with my hypnotic gaze, which I can also do by sound. It turns out. So
Oh. Sure. Do they need to be able to? Oh no, this is just if they can hear you.
see or hear.
Oh, yep. All right. Well, you qualify for one of those, and all you need is one. All right. What are you whispering to in this ghostly fashion?
So I'm probably just gonna go up to the Gribbler and I'm gonna be, it was you. You're the one that farted.
It was me the whole time. and he's just sort of like, he finds this to be absolutely hilarious, bursts out cackling, and just sort of like doubles over. And as he does with the stomach constrictions, he actually does make good on that as well. So
Anyway,
yeah,
it's DC 19 or 18. DC 18 to resist that.
yep. All right. Yep.
Okay.
So he's going to become your hypnotic thrall.
Okay. So then I can pick up his dagger and finally cast Steel Wind Strike.
Yeah, yeah. You come down, you scoop it up, and so it's now just like it looks like a floating dagger, and then you're gonna steel wind strike them all. Yep, that hits.
Okay, I've got how many are there? 4?
4. Yep. Yeah, that 12. These are little minions. I think you were hitting on 12. So, yep, that's fine. So this invisible dagger over here at this alleyway. So not only are the coin purses released, but so too are whatever life force was keeping these little fiends going, as they do just sort of fall. I need you to make a quick investigation, Bright.
Okay, I can do that.
16. You've been covered in this goo, but it's not affecting you at all. It's just, I mean, it's making you kind of gooey. So there's like a floating little ectoplasm that's kind of bubbling because you're boiling it up. But there's no mutating effects.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I was actually going to conduct a little experiment there. I was kind of hoping I could grow my body back with it, but I guess not.
It would seem that is not the case.
Okay. Well, so I'm going to go ahead and use my mage hand to, stack up all the coins. This is nice. This is the most money I've ever had.
Yeah. It is a goodly amount. They seem to be targeting people that have greater wealth. And in fact, when you're looking at them, you recognize some of that coinage. Some of those were coins that, I mean, unless there's other people from where you were from, those were probably coins that Mordecai handed over to the innkeeper or paid to the herbologist. Like, you're seeing some of your coins mixed in with this stack.
Huh. How interesting. So the herbologist, that's the place where we went to get the beans?
Yes. Okay. The yew-berries.
The yew-berries. Yeah, so the yew-berries were going to be my second option for seeing if I could grow my body back.
Okay.
But I don't have the yew-berries.
Yeah.
Right now. So.
What would you like to do with your money?
Well, I'm going to hang on to it. How much is there, approximately?
We'll say enough that it's stressing the weight limit of your mage hand.
Okay. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is carry most of the money back to... I've got the dagger, too. I've just got a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and carry it all back to my little box.
Okay, sure. You're making a little nest?
Yeah, like a little miniature dragon. Speaking of dragons, I'm just going to have a little box, and it's going to have a little gold in it, and then I'll just nestle in there.
Yeah. All right. More time is passing, and again, people in the area seem to be ingratiated to you. So, they know you. People seem to go out of their way to pass by the box.
If time is passing, does that count as like a rest period for me? Or?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. No, I'm not urgently in need, but it's better than not having it. I mean, before too much time passes, I definitely want to go on to the other side of town, check in with the herbologist, and, do all those things. I don't want too much time to elapse. But...
Yeah. Well, the herbologist, unfortunately, had been found dead some time ago. Oddly enough, all of his blood was drained from his body.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. I've seen that before. Huh. Well, that's actually pretty unfortunate. Because he was the one that knew how to make yew-berries. Huh. Killed by a vampire. Okay. Well, did I actually get to see him, or did I just hear stories?
You just heard stories. The store has been closed up, and it's common knowledge among the merchants at this point. In fact, make an investigation, Bright.
Yeah, I was just thinking. Oh, Ken.
There's been a lot of suspicious activity in the city lately. Some people are saying that there's it's not just the Gribblers, but there's some sort of a deadly agent working on the rooftops that has some people scared beyond just being pickpocketed or mentioning the name.
On the rooftops, you say?
Yeah.
Do they mean me?
No, it would seem that you are very much the opposite of this dark agent that is working on the rooftops.
Okay, well, I'm obviously going to be spending more time on the rooftops.
Okay. So, more time
Seeing as
passes.
I can just kind of go up there. I mean, I am really enjoying being a flame skull. I just wish I had my spell book. That's really, really kind of uncomfortable for me.
Bright Skull, I wanted to talk to you as you settled in back in your nest at some point.
Oh, sure, of course. And I'm actually going to pay them. I don't know how much I have, but I'll pay them.
Oh,
I don't know, 1/3 of the money that I recovered just for
yeah,
this nice box.
yeah. There's things like there's some coins, some shiny stones, teeth, a couple things that people might value.
Yeah, I mean, if they want teeth, that's fine. I'm not really planning.
Oh, they'll
on using
take teeth.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They actually accept it gratefully and say that that'll go to help people in the neighborhood here. I just wanted to let you know you've been with us for some time now, and what can I say? Kind of sheepishly rubs his tusks, a little embarrassed. I totally forgot. You had asked a question a long time ago about who was like the landlady here of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, her name's Mercury.
Oh, how interesting. And she's the one that went missing.
Yeah. She went to go. I guess talk to someone, whoever's running the pit or something. Ever since that place showed up, this place has been going to heck. But she went there and ain't never come back, and we've been trying to make do. People are like, I should lead, and I'm like, forget about it. And I don't know, it's just been kind of tough, but you've brought us some joy, you brought us some teeth. That ain't even your own. I know times are desperate if you're having to pull out your own teeth to help us. And, although I'm sorry, it looks like you pulled your eye teeth. You get it? Because you ain't got no eyes?
Yeah. So, are you from here originally, or are you from the nearby town of Nilkorb?
I've always been from here as far as I can remember.
Oh, okay. Just wondered. Just wondered. Okay, so,
But yeah, you've been doing us a steady, and especially with this Muns. A few teeth can go a long way around here, especially as things are getting desperate. I mean, hell, if even them joiks out at the Trine Circus is trying to rob us, you can only imagine how bad it is out there, too. But anyway...
Yeah, there's probably not a lot of people going to the circus right now. It's probably just kind of an unfortunate situation. Anyway, yeah. Well, thank you for telling me about Miss Mercury. That's good information for me. I've actually heard that name before, so that's.
Oh, have you?
Really nice. Yeah.
Oh, well, it just sort of rolls off the tongue if you can never remember what it is. Well, I just wanted to let you know you got to be careful. There's been some attacks, a lot more attacks recently. Apparently, someone's been kind of jumping on the rooftops and stalking in the alleyways, mortalizing peoples.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that. Well, planning to take care of it, but I kind of have a suspicion that I know who it is.
There was a pretty big throwdown, and it even seemed like one of them agents from the pit was there to collect on someone what named the name that should have been named, and the person just sort of descended down on that whatever that agent is, that kind of black dragon looking joik that comes through to take people to the pit. There was a bit of a scuffle, ended up with that enforcer being driven off, and whatever the flashy thing was in pursuit. Still, I know you're small, probably ain't never noticed you, but I don't want anything bad to happen to you, huh?
Yeah, well, I might be small, but I'm pretty slippery, so...
Is ya?
I think yeah, I am, actually. See, feel.
I don't know. You don't feel too greased up to me. You want some grease?
If only I had my spell book, I would be able to do that.
Oh, if you need a book, I got books you could read. I didn't know. Just don't boin them up if you need entertainment.
Yeah, no, it's a special kind of book. Special kind of book. So anyway, yeah. So I will. I don't want to overstay my welcome. I mean, I've been trying to help. I took out some gribblers, and I've been paying you a little bit. So if you don't mind if I stay here for a few more days.
Oh, you're always welcome. Hell, I actually wouldn't mind. They've been trying to yoke me with this position of leadership here, and frankly, I got other things to do. You're pretty smart for just being a skull. And, I was kind of wondering,
I mean, as a skull, I'm proportionally as a percentage of my body much more brain area.
That was a lot of words that tickled. Anyway, I was kind of hoping that maybe you'd be willing to, would you, like, step up and kind of, be the boss? We could use someone like you. You're smart like that Miss Mercury was.
Well, I mean, that's true. Probably smarter. So, when you say the boss, would that come with minions? Because I do like minions.
That's a pretty negative word to use. I mean, you'd have us in the neighborhood what looks out after you, and we'd be happy to help you if you think you can help us out in return.
Yeah, that sounds like minions. I'm good with that.
I mean, we could do all sorts of stuff. I mean, my wife can make you some food, or she can make you some clothes if you ever decide you need to wear it, which I don't know. Should I be averting my eyes? Am I looking at stuff that I ain't supposed to look at?
It doesn't really matter. Once I get my body back, we can worry about that. But now maybe I could use a hat.
Okay, I'm sure we can.
That's as long as it's a fireproof kind of hat.
Oh, sorry. You know what? My wife's got a little soup pot she don't use no more. I could put that on your head.
Well, we'll revisit the clothes issue.
But yeah, you need something. Look, there's all sorts of people. You know everyone that lives in the neighborhood. And he'll go over the list of people. You're like, oh yeah, those people. You've peered in their windows before. You've looked into their private lives.
I may or may not have casted detect thoughts here and there.
Yeah, you picked up on the, people got talents and, pursuits and dreams. So yeah, this neighborhood has a lot of people with a lot of different skills, in some magic, yes. Physical combat, a lot of different skills, a lot of different, backgrounds and social hierarchies. You got accountants and all this. You have the residential block here who all at least know about you, and you would be able to call on them because honestly, they need someone to lead them. There's a severe lack of leadership going on right now.
So what's the, other than the Gribblers and the Rooftop Predator, who were definitely not calling Casimir. Definitely not calling Casimir. Aside from that, are those the main crises? And then, of course, there's the pit. But the pit's kind of a slow burn, kind of a problem, not really a crisis.
Yeah, I mean, there's day-to-day stuff that
okay.
happens in a city, but it's... I don't know if this is meeting expectations or bending expectations, but given, I guess, the nefarious look and energy of the place, this seems a lot like a city that... It has city problems, but just the city folk are different. There's different priorities. Don't get me wrong, there's still, you still see those golden masked babyface guards going around, which, by the way, they love, when they pass by, they stop, and they pet you before they continue on. They don't even test you.
Yeah, well, not at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, well, I think this is sounding great. I mean, I would be happy to do that, and, I don't have the same problems that everybody has. I don't have to pay rent. I mean, I give you a few gold, but I don't need a whole apartment. I just need my little box.
No, if you just want the box, you can have it. Hell, I'll tell everyone about it. I'm sorry, heck. We got decorum around here. Now, I'll let everyone know that we all got a pull for you.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep. I mean, of course, I'll keep looking for gribblers. But I think what we should do is we should work out a schedule where we know, like, kind of like a watch program. And we'll keep our eyes open, and somebody will be on duty all the time. And
Oh, like we watch
keep our
over
eye-
a neighborhood?
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we can call it the watching the neighborhood.
Brilliant.
Or
I ain't
we
never
could call
would have
it
thought of something like that.
Yeah, so we could call it the neighborhood watch for short, and we'll organize that, and somebody will always be on duty, and we'll keep our eyes out for gribblers. We'll keep our eyes out for the rooftop predator.
Yeah, well, you definitely got your eyes out, huh? Don't you, Toots?
Yeah, yeah, sure, yeah, it's a figure of speech. So I have a pretty good idea of who it might be. But, okay, so point of order, out of character. I never really saw what Casimir turned into, did I? Like, out of character? Or in character?
No,
I don't know that.
you did not know, because you were sucked into the maze.
Yeah, okay.
But
So,
you did see that he took on silvery forms, had wings, and, you saw his pre-evolution.
okay. Yeah, I have a friend who... Let's not... Perhaps friend is the wrong term right now. He used to be my friend. But we've both changed a lot. I'm not sure who's changed more. Probably me. Who fancies himself a hunter. And I haven't seen him in a very long time. And just by the sound of what's been happening to people, I'm concerned that he might be the one behind it. So, and actually, I haven't really seen or heard from any of my friends recently, and I used to be able to cast a spell where I could talk to them, but I don't have that handy right now.
Yeah, well, you tell us what to look for, and we'll keep our eyes out, huh?
Okay, so we'll do that. So I'll describe. So of course I don't know that Cypher's a spectator, so
Right.
I'm going to describe his human form.
Yep.
Because that's what I know, and then I'll describe Casimir.
Okay.
As I saw him last, which is going to be like halfway, probably. And then I'll describe Mordecai, who probably looks about the same. So, hey, maybe that'll even work.
Hopefully. Okay.
So, yeah. And then, out of character, we don't have to set that up in person. But we'll set up the patrols and all that, and set up the neighborhood boundaries, and maybe, we'll look for opportunities to take some territory.
Yeah. So, time will pass, and you know what? Bright, it's good to be the one in charge. They take your orders. It seems that you're bringing this neighborhood back into, functionality. And you start receiving some information. As you sort of sit in your 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot throne, and you're kind of becoming the symbol of the neighborhood here. Like there's people who are going around wearing for those of them that have hair, they'll have like a little white skull with a pink bow looking like 2 flame jets coming out. Like they'll actually start wearing to identify yeah, we're with the watch. And it's just sort of like, it's kind of like your token, but they wear it as a badge.
That's pretty good. So if people make graffiti, I want it to be pink. We'll call it graffloofy.
Graffloofy? All right. So
that's how we'll mark our territory.
Block by block.
See, my goal is to organize this as a neighborhood watch, but my actual goal is to turn it into a gang.
You're kind of working on it right now. You're spending the time, and you're putting in the resources, and you're getting reward and position and status from it. As pretty much everyone in town at least has heard of you. If they don't, you'd be pretty easy on sight, but of course everyone hasn't seen you per se.
Sure.
All right, let's get up and take a 10-minute break, and then what I'm going to do, Professor, I'm going to come back. I'm going to ask you what's going on with you. We're going to see where that goes, where you wish to take it, however far you wish to take it. And once we get to a particular point, then what I can do is twist everyone together
and also give you information based on the things Mordecai, Bright, and the professor might have been looking into or looking after, such that there's a mutual pool of information, if not an outright togetherness of your characters again. Now, none of you have to be together again. If you're, I don't know, professor, if you just want to go like live in a sewer, you can do that, and that's fine. You're happy. But think a little bit about what you'd like to do. You've kind of heard my approach with the others, the kind of the tempo, the things that I'm looking after and prompting, and so when we come back, I'd say you hit the ground running, but you don't have legs anymore, so we'll just have to float along, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
So for all of you out in the audience, see you soon.
So there's one last thing that I wanted to touch on.
Oh,
So I'm
what's
going to
that?
try to spend at least a medium amount of time whenever I have free time, actually myself patrolling the rooftops looking for what I
Okay.
expect is Casimir, but which will actually be Casimir.
Okay.
Since I can fly, I have
Yeah.
I'm probably not the only one that can fly. There's probably fiends that can fly, but since I'm
I can
small
fly.
and well, I know, yeah, but
Okay.
Since I'm small and have good, have good stealth, and I can turn invisibility when I need to, and I can do illusions. I've still got tricks up my sleeve, so
You don't have a sleeve anymore.
it's true. But I have tricks up it.